Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Afternoon FM. It's been a little bit of a while, but we're back. Trying to get back to dropping them sort of semi-daily. Today I'm joined by poet Logan Pierce. Thank you for coming by, bro. Pierce Logan. Sorry.
It's okay. It happened earlier today, actually. So can't say it's the first time. But yeah, man, thanks for reaching out. Interesting how the various artist circles flow into each other. You know.
You're local to Hoboken, right?
Yeah. Well, Bayonne. Yeah.
Where?
So we're in Bayonne.
Yeah.
Like kind of like I guess you would say like more south. 'Cause like it goes like all the way up to like 50 something, and then it's Jersey City, and I'm all the way down on 18th.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, word. No.
Yeah.
Like a lot of some of my friends over there. Actually, Iris over here is from Bayonne.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You living there now?
I think he grew up there. And,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's cool, man. It's like, it's weird because like I don't know, going over there, man. It's like I don't know. It's like really close, but it's like it seems like it's like really like I don't know, like going from the city, like you have to like pass through like an industrial park.
Yeah.
In order to commute down there, or JFK. JFK is a little bit easier way of getting down there.
Yeah. I live right off that street. I mean, it's kind of just like very residential. There's not too much going on, but that's kind of like one of the reasons I moved there, because I'm like, I just want a place to live.
Yeah.
And then I'm right by the water. I can, like 3-minute walk, and I'm right on the Hudson. So it's serene.
Word.
It's nice. It's nice. So.
Did you grow up over there?
No. I've been there for like 2 years. From Jersey, like more like I guess Central Jersey, quote unquote Central Jersey. Like the Basking Ridge area.
Yeah.
Yeah, from over there. Grew up like riding horses and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, my sister and I. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, tell me a little bit about like growing up like what are the foundations?
Yeah. So I grew up. Just I don't know. I would describe myself as kind of like a more reserved kid growing up, kind of introspective, and never really felt too I don't know, like others around me. So I was like just sort of like a weirdo. Let's see, I took 2 extreme sports. Like so I started to backtrack. I started horseback riding when I was 8. And then I was training in that, and it was actually nice to kind of develop sort of like a work ethic when I was younger, because like when you're riding a horse, you have to care for the horse, you have to clean, you have to like be a part of the functions of the stable, whatever. You have to like clean up all the horse shit, you have to like carry the hay bales, and like they're like really really tightly packed, like compact, and you have to like spread them out for the horses. We call it tacking and untacking a horse, when you put all the equipment on, whatever, and take it off. So you have to do all that stuff. But then I started skateboarding, snowboarding, BMX.
Wait, what's that transition?
Yeah.
Like going from fucking horseback?
Yeah, you just ride. It's just riding different things. But yeah, no, I got.
So you guys owned horses and like.
My sister had a horse. I trained. We trained in the same place. Like my best friend, his mom was a trainer. But the thing is, she wanted me to like do like horse shows, and I wasn't really interested in that. I was more so just interested in like riding the horse and whatever, but being outside. But I got thrown off one time, and it was scary. And then I think from there I was just like, no.
What's that feeling like?
So yeah, I mean, I was like what, like 9, 10, and I was training on like ponies, and then they're like, hey, jump on this X-race horse for a show, and it threw me off. I like hurt my back, whatever. So yeah, I was just like traumatized, and that was it.
That was the end of horse racing. After that shit was absolutely thrown off.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, yeah, you'd also would have to strengthen your legs a little bit more. You have to do some bareback. so like no saddle, whatever. And then I would just be on the horse, and I would just go like sideways and just like fall off the horse.
Yes, yeah.
And I was like, dang. Um, I don't know. That was just like part of growing up, I guess.
That's crazy. 'Cause, like a
Yeah.
lot of I act, but I don't really act. I'm like fucking. I'm very like I direct, but I act to like learn how to direct better.
Okay.
And a lot of the like the little sign-ups. I don't know what the fuck actors go through, man. Because they have to like sign, and like horseback riding is like one of the things. It's like, but it's just like I feel like it's such like a niche skill.
Right. I mean,
So you
yeah.
haven't touched, you haven't been on a horse since now.
No, I have. So there's like two main styles of riding, right? I was learning equestrian.
Yeah.
Like the kind of snooty, like British way of riding horses, and then and
Playing
then
polo and shit.
I didn't do any of that, but basically, and then like my sister got to a point where she was like she could like teach them to dance and all that shit that they do. But I never got to that point. But yeah, and there's also Western, which is like you do the one hand and then you're like riding through trails and whatever. So I've done a bunch of that after.
Alright, word.
So I've done some of that. But the thing is, like,
It wasn't like a fucking like I'll never touch a horse again.
for
Not since my feet.
for a minute it was like that. It was like that. But
It's me with
yeah.
the podcast right now.
Yeah.
That
Well,
was
it's like that is painful. I mean, like for example, like I guess it's kind of similar to this. I have an instrument at home, and it's like when you put it down, it's hard
Yeah.
to like. You just kind of see it there, and it's like a little heart wrenching, and you just don't want to. You're like, oh, I love it so much, but I don't want to touch it,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I feel that, but
That's actually kind of the origin of the podcast. So I had so I'm a filmmaker, but there's so much like I think arbitrage is the word. I always feel like I'm butchering words, but there's like this time period between like I take between like making a film, like coming up with the concept and making the film and doing the shit, and it's there's so much like logistical work with film, but I needed to make shit like every day or I'll lose my fucking mind. It's like just who I am at this point. So I'd like take photographs and I do photography like daily, and I'm not like I have a Fuji. I have like a couple cameras that I can like use, but my one phone. I had an iPhone SE, and I was doing like a lot of the pictures on them. You know what I mean, because it's like a really fast camera, and I can like sneak a shot or fucking do whatever on it. And the fucking lens got demagnetized, so it was weird. So like it would try to focus, but the lens would be like, and it would produce this fucking like out of focus like shifty thing, which is a great effect.
yeah, when you want it.
yeah, when you want it, when you want to be the edgy guy, but
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
I gotta like, I can't even like do anything on it. So I was like, and it's weird because it's like the being able to like access photos at any time and being able to take like my little sneaky shots is like how I work in like bursts. So,
Yeah.
and then fucking I wasn't doing any photography. I was starting to get like depressed, and then I had this podcast equipment from like a while back because we're just gonna rent and and I had the idea for the podcast for a while, and then I just started going hard with it. Yeah,
That's
fucking-
dope.
Yeah, and then but then like eventually finally got one again, and fucking
Nice. Yeah. I also find myself I like to do a lot of like random finds on the street shots.
yeah.
Yeah, like see something real weird like on the ground, or just something that seems like kind of provocative. I like to take photos like that. I used to have like an Instagram where I would post them. Damn, I forget what it was called. It was kind of like an irrelevant name,
Right.
but it was just kind of like a fun thing. Like there was one time I found a shot. There was like this ice cream dripping. It was like vanilla and chocolate, but it looked like a dick. And I just thought that was funny, so I took a picture. Like stuff like that. Or like
Yeah.
I was at the beach. I was like at the Coney Island beach, and there was like a baby doll, but it was just a torso. I took like shit like that. I like that.
Yeah.
So
I remember when Instagram first came out. Like, I thought it was just a filter app that everybody like really
Right.
liked, and I
Yeah.
had no idea that it was a feed. So I
Yeah.
would take just photos of like random shit and like add the filter on it.
Uh,
And yeah, bro, I remember somebody threw out I was working at a hotel. Somebody threw out a sex doll. But
uh-huh.
I was just posting it because I was like, look at this shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, I didn't know it was a feed until
Uh,
like way later. And then I was like, oh shit, like you know what I mean? It was
yeah,
like,
yeah. Well, I think it had its own sort of evolution.
mm,
Now it's big, and I think, in my opinion, I think that TikTok is gonna be the main thing.
I
Because it's all the younger generation is primarily on
yeah,
TikTok.
because
So.
dude, it's so it's weird because it's like fucking with these kids' psychology.
Yep.
Like I don't know, like I actually just got back. I filmed Gary V. Last Friday through Saturday. I don't know enough. Thursday, Friday. Yeah, last Thursday and Friday, I filmed Gary V. And we were at this like digital ad conference, and they're just like TikTok Reels, YouTube Shorts. You know what I mean? They're like,
Yeah.
this is your CPM, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, it was like good and practical advice, and it's like people who want to like make money and exploit the platforms. Like I get it, but like I don't know, man. It's like that's the one thing I don't like about like this shit now. It's like there's a double-edged sword. Like there were these gatekeepers before in the 70s where it was like, like Marty's got to be like an artist in order to fucking make Taxi Driver. But like now like everybody has the thing, and now it just becomes a race for who can generate the most views. But when you're going and you're trying to generate views, the things that generate views are like fucking controversy,
Right.
fucking clickbait. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
little tricks on the brain. 11 fucking top pop albums.
Right.
Know?
Yeah, yeah, or inflammatory content, and then it also like the way that it's edited and how like quickly it makes me think it makes me think of films in that way, and the way that probably people closer to our age growing up and like sort of romanticizing things through film and wanting your life to be that way.
Yeah.
But then now it's like the TikTok where it's like yeah,
Everybody's
exactly
eyes are so fucking wide open. Never been excited for anything in my life, bro.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, at the same time, it's like, people growing up with that, they're the ones who understand it in a way that I think that we won't, and it's
Yeah.
kind of just like a generational thing.
Yeah.
So I have a sense of acceptance because I also work. I'm a high school teacher, so I work with
Really?
younger folks. Yeah.
Huh.
This is the second school I've been teaching at least with younger people. But I'm an ESL teacher. That's like my training. So I started teaching adults English, like folks who are working, they want to improve their English, whatever.
Are you a Spanish speaker?
A little bit, not too great. I'm mostly Portuguese.
Oh, word.
But yeah,
Where you
so here.
What?
Here.
Okay.
Yeah, born in Staten Island, lived there for a few years, moved to Jersey, grew up in Jersey. Grandparents, from Italy, Naples and Calabria, but no, I guess that's a big part of my life too, to mention the influence of language and what ultimately brought me to wanting to teach and really developing my poetry, whatever. So I lived in Brazil for a little bit. It was really influential politically, in terms of ideology, understandings of like where I come from, how the U.S. has influenced and affected and kind of controlled the rest of the world, and then also like linguistically how it's affected me. So yeah, I learned Portuguese from being there, and
Comparisons of like poetry before you like got affected by like the Brazilian like influence afterwards.
yeah, it had I think
Flow.
some really interesting effects on my language, but I would say that. So one of my biggest influences is Bob Dylan. My dad has always been really into music, and so growing up he would play a lot of Dylan. And so yeah, a lot of my earlier work like is more so like that. It's like I wouldn't say they're necessarily ballads because I didn't really like adhere to a certain form, but I think that they were about that length, and they were just very like chaotic, really
It's
kind of
alright,
fast paced.
Ma,
Yeah.
It's only bleeding type of shit.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah,
Actually, I love that song. But yeah, or even like Ballad of a Thin Man, like stuff that's just like stories that you have to kind of like have a good understanding of what's going on at the time, Dylan's life and stuff like that. So, but yeah, so it was kind of more like that, my earlier stuff, and then later on, I mean, I also got older, so it's hard to like say.
Yeah.
Like I also like matured in different ways, and saw more of the world. But
Yeah.
it's like a little bit more. I would start to mix, Portuguese. I would start to like write a little bit more about political things, stuff like that. But it also, you know what it did? This is what I think. It made me a pretty bad speller in English.
Really?
Yeah. Because Portuguese is a lot more like how it's a lot more phonetic. English is really complicated, and I sort of like feel like the longer I teach it, the more I don't understand it. Like English is really fucked up. Like it's very reflective of like the people speaking.
Wow, really?
Yeah, because it's
everybody
like
says that. It says like
English is
like,
rough.
extremely
So
complex.
even like, okay, maybe like, so because it's a Germanic language, right? Even comparing it to German is interesting because German has a kind of more complex grammar, and then it has like the genders and all that. It has like 3 genders, whatever. English doesn't even use that anymore. But English has like rules, and then there's so many different ways that it doesn't follow them. So it's just like a nightmare. It's a nightmare to like learn and to teach.
Spanish has gotten easier over time.
Yeah, you think so? Like in which ways?
I've understood. I'm very like working Spanish.
Okay.
Like I just grew up like working in kitchens and shit.
Okay.
So
Okay.
like I don't know, like now like I'll like listen to somebody speak Spanish and I'm like I got like 80% of it. 80
Okay.
to, like 75. I can't like repeat it back, but I'm like I know what they're asking for and it's very easy for me to like.
That makes a lot of sense.
Weirdest is when you fuck, like when you can fuck somebody in a language that like you don't have any similar thing. Like I fucked this one chick who actually spoke Portuguese, Portuguese, and there was one French chick, and like yeah, I don't know. That was it was a weird like.
Because you didn't know what to say during sex. Is that what you're trying to say?
No, I just didn't know how like. Because you can't. There's no seduction of words. It's not like it's not even like personality or anything. It's just like I don't know. You're just going like with the thing, and if you're like able to like yeah, it was this. I don't know. Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. Well, so they didn't speak English. You're saying like.
Yeah, not a word.
Oh, okay. I understand.
Like,
I never been in that situation actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird. It's happened twice. It happened once with Portuguese and once with French. And it was like, I don't know. You're just kind of going off of energy at that point.
Right.
You're just going off of like, you know what I mean, like looks.
Yeah.
Like,
That
like,
body language, right?
Yeah, that body language. But that's the universal language, bro.
For real.
So speaking of language, tell me about how you got into poetry, man.
Oh yeah. Let's see. I started. I don't know how I remember this age. Maybe I made it up. I don't know. I started when I was 14. I was just like reading a lot, and just found like a lot of joy in my solitude, honestly. And yeah, just reading. And then I think that reading enough, you're gonna be tempted to write. So kind of think of it as like input, output. And yeah, I would just waste a lot of money on. Well, I shouldn't say waste, but I would spend a lot of money on books, and then started writing.
What kind of books were you like into at this time?
I was reading like philosophy, like like Socrates and that crap, and I started reading like William Burroughs. He wrote like Naked Lunch,
Bukowski fan?
Yeah, I so that's interesting too, because I didn't actually get into reading poetry until much later. So I was mostly reading like fiction, a little bit of nonfiction. Yeah, like a bit of philosophy. I think I had like a brief period where I was into Bukowski, especially like leading from William Burroughs because they have like some parallels, especially with like the alcohol and the drug use
like,
and all that shit.
yeah.
So yeah, and then I got my first typewriter was in 2013, I think, or a little bit after that. It was a Smith Corona. Oh, it was like it was a silent. A silent. It was like that nice kind of like beige with the green stripes. I just love the way they write. You know what I'm saying? I like closing my eyes because I'm just like,
It's the sound, dude.
yeah.
Weird.
People say that all the time.
You're
It's so
also
nostalgic.
a typewriter snob, man. I'm fucking,
Yeah.
I love them, dude. I'm like, I keep buying them. It's like actually
Yeah.
like, yeah. I've one at the office. I got one upstairs.
Nice.
I have one here, and I had more, but yeah, this one I picked up. I forgot when I picked this one up. But I was like, yo, it's so beautiful. The Royal has been like one that's been like very personal to me because I got that like I don't know. I was like I don't know. I felt like I was gonna like it was a whole ordeal. But I got it as like a gift to myself on like my 27th birthday, and it was
Nice.
like a crazy thing that was happening at the time. And the blue one. I forgot where I got the blue one from. I got the blue one and I shipped it back. I remember. I just kept buying as I was in Northern California.
Okay.
And I didn't have any electricity.
Okay.
I was in the
Oh
woods.
shit.
Yeah, I was
Wow.
in the woods.
Okay, I got
So-
interested to hear about that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
interesting.
So fucking, I was in the woods and I got really into them. And then like, I was always into it too. I actually had the Hanks writer. You ever use that shit? That app?
Dude, I've seen that. I see that all over the
typewriter
internet.
community. Is there a typewriter community?
There is,
Yeah.
but that's not where I saw it. I just saw it like advertised online.
Oh.
But yeah, no, I am like a part of a typewriter poet group on Instagram, so we like give each other like pointers. And yeah, it's like all sorts of things. It's funny enough. So I have right now an exhibition of my work at the Hoboken Historical Museum, and so on the 26th, this guy from Virginia, that's also a typewriter poet, like he does a street poetry, whatever. He's got a collection of like 50 machines.
Yeah.
So he's gonna bring down like I don't know, like 8, something like that. And he's gonna co-host what I guess they call a type-in.
Yeah.
So there's gonna be people set up on the typewriters, and they're gonna add basically some work that like complements the work that's already there.
Yeah.
So he's bringing like all sorts of different machines. So that's gonna be a lot of fun.
That's cool,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
That's like art class.
yeah,
Yeah, it's fucking sick.
yeah.
You know, I became a huge fan of it. You know what it is, man? It was like I actually read a lot about the Jack Kerouac's way of writing, man. How he would just I think he would get like a bunch of newsprint, and he would just run a huge like scroll of newsprint.
Just stream of conscience.
Yes, yeah,
yeah,
that's what it's,
yeah.
stream of consciousness writing.
Yeah.
And I'm very like I'm a big technology guy, but I'm also like anti-app. I really that's actually one of the reasons I really like doing this, because it's just this little this one thing and some microphones.
Yeah.
There's not like I gotta run it. Like I feel like everybody gets kind of bogged down by the technology, and not really fucking like they're not actually focusing on the actual medium that they're doing. Like, you know what I mean? I actually got into painting recently too.
Nice.
Yeah, anything that gets me out of the fucking computer, man. I wasn't making music until there was actually just instruments. You know what I mean? Like before I was like a bedroom producer, and I was like, yeah, Logic 9, and then you gotta fucking add the sidechain. And
That's
granted,
cool,
you're
though.
making tracks.
Yeah.
And I love making tracks that way, and like, it's an easy way, and there's less gatekeeper between you and the release of it. And you have to kind of go through that digital intermediate, but it's just like, man, for the actual creation of the demo and the idea, man, you can't be like, like I'm not good with like writing a script like just straight off a final draft. I'd rather lug around a giant fucking typewriter and like just go to a park and like actually like listen to like the birds and shit, like
Right.
you have like some food.
Right. Like simplify it.
Yeah.
I mean, the technology's there. It's supposed to just make it a little easier, right? That's really the idea. But I mean, it's interesting too, because like thinking about like going back to the what I brought up about like listening to Dylan growing up and stuff. My dad had like some really nice, sound systems throughout the house, but it was like you know, the way that they made music back then, there's still just so much like richer sound. You know what I mean? That's why people like want to collect records and all that. It doesn't sound the same. Like it's cool because you have so much freedom. You can sit there and like loop stuff, and it sounds super cool. But like the richness of like the instruments is like,
it's a subtle
you just
thing,
can't, you just can't. And
I
I think
get
similar
the
with a
vinyl
typewriter.
people.
You know what I mean?
I get vinyl people. I get film people as well. People who shoot exclusively on 35 millimeter. The only reason I don't do it is just because it's mostly cost, and it's not production. I shoot Fuji. Everybody thinks my fucking camera is like a old school manual like camera, and it's, bro, the actual 35 millimeters, they had the best control out of all of it, because I'm a big fan of singular function devices.
Yep.
I don't want the typewriter to receive email. I don't want it. I don't want it. I get like anxiety. Like everybody's trying to sell me shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? I get an app from the Velo Airlines. I haven't flown them in eight years. I get them every day. Every day. And even if I subscribe, they like find me.
Right.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the iPod. Because like it was just music. It wasn't like trying to sell you on a monthly subscription. Right. It wasn't a fucking ad.
Yeah,
I already bought the song, or I stole the song.
LimeWire. I was all over LimeWire, and then all the songs started turning. Like I would download a song, I was like, "Damn, that's fast! Download it really quickly," and then I'll listen, and it's like the Bill.
Was convict music. Look at that.
Wait, is that DJ Khaled, or what was that?
DJ Drama was like was the early Lil Wayne mixtapes.
Yeah.
Was DJ Khaled.
I listened to a lot
Khaled, like I forgot, man.
I listened to a lot of Wayne.
You listen to a lot of Lil Wayne?
Well, not anymore. No, it's been a long time. But like, you know, when I was a teenager, I was big into Lil Wayne.
Oh yeah.
Because he's like quick. He's quick, and that's something that I do with my poetry. Like particularly when I'm writing for people, you know, like the gig I do, I'm really quick. You know, my mind just takes to it, and I just go. But no, I was gonna say is like that Bill Clinton thing would come up where he's like, I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Yeah. So maybe that was fucking that was. I mean, no. That was Kennedy.
Oh no, Kennedy wasn't. I did not have a sexual relationship with him.
Who was it? It was Clinton though. Is right.
Bill Clinton got the blowjob, bro. Kennedy was fucking on the low.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, but he was.
So I was right. I was right the first time. Okay. Yeah.
But like, one of the I did not. What do you mean? How would that come up?
So it would be like.
Wait, what?
So when LimeWire started getting found out, that was like, you know, like letting people download shit for free.
Yeah.
The tracks would just write over all the tracks. So you would download your song, and it would be titled whatever you were searching, but then it would be that.
It'd be like a Rickroll. A little bit like the I'm never gonna give you up, that type of shit.
I guess so. It was just like it's like a brief recording. Like you didn't. The point is you didn't get your song. You just got your. So those days, you know, they passed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the torrents came in. Torrents have been holding it down for a while. They've been good. Fucking, I haven't. You know what's fucked up now is that like with all the goddamn streaming services, you don't really even need to download or anything anymore.
Right.
Yeah. YouTube Premium won. They just won.
Yeah. I use a Spotify.
You're a Spotify person?
Yeah, I just do Spotify. You know.
I'm just too late to the party. Everybody's built up all the playlists and done all the shit. And I'm like, what's fucked up is I still have like a bunch of MP3s, bro. I just have like.
Oh, do you?
I have like, because I still have like, it's like 40 days of music.
And
like, I've listened to like maybe like 35 days of it, but it's been like 12 years. You know what I mean?
Oh, you haven't finished it all?
No.
Oh,
no,
damn.
God, no.
I listen to the same. I listen. I am one of those people where like I listen to a song over and over and over and over and over until I've heard like every little detail. Yeah.
Do you pick this? You like break the song down, like deconstruct it, like this is like the drums or like musician.
Yeah. Sometimes it's a distraction, kind of just drowns things out, and sometimes it's like I want to like try to like learn what's going on in the music, because it's interesting, because like someone put it together, you know, a certain way, so it's interesting to kind of deconstruct it. Yeah.
I'm shitty with like understanding mixing. Was never good at it. I get it, Like I really like listening to the Beatles. The Beatles have like they
Okay.
have this like one earphone like thing going on.
Yes.
I don't know who the
Yes.
fuck. I guess it was mixed in mono, or I don't know. But like they have like where it's like here's like all the instruments, and then here
Yeah.
comes like the drums or some shit. I don't know why they
Yeah.
isolate it like that.
I noticed that in some rock music in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not too sure either, but yeah. So, um, word. How did you start? So it's cool because you know, I know, like, I have a bunch of friends who are poets and they've been to Prototype, and it's like my first time here, and it's not during an open mic, which is interesting. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
cool.
No,
So yeah.
it's cool. That's part of the like. That's why I like afternoon, man. It's a very like a casual. We have a couple like things where it just like opens up, just kind of an open studio, man. It's like a
Mm.
home for artists, man. Where like Sundays we have like free play,
Mm.
where you know it's just like come by and just hang out with us. There's no like you know.
That's dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's more of like this place. It's strange. It has like a little bit of like elements of like an incubator, like a startup
Yeah.
incubator. Like I'm a big tech guy.
Yeah.
I really like Y Combinator, and you know what I mean. It's like you know there's like where everybody can develop. Like I developed like insanely over there. It was
Mm.
crazy because I learned. It was kind of prevalent yesterday. I went to the rally for Najee C. Brooks uh, over in Patterson, and I had taken a break from photography for like a while when I was in the woods, and then I came back and I was just doing like little pieces here and there. You know what I mean? I take like
Mm.
a photo here, do a piece here, and when I came over here, like you know, I would start to take photos of the bands that would come through,
Uh.
and you know, I would just work the stage. And it was just like you know, like open session, like open training of working the stage and seeing you know where my shots are, and you know, I it's crazy because the style that I kind of developed when I came here has like infiltrated like little like you know what I mean, like any like live event, like I have like my like neural pathways for you know what I mean, like how I'm gonna go and get the shot.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, we're there, and one of the things I like to do is like it's weird because like photography, man, it like ends up becoming like fucking WWE wrestling and shit. You know what I mean? I'm like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know, like I like if there's like there was like one drum circle where fucking there's just a bunch of people that were just doing it, and we have these big ass ladders around here, so I just got on the ladder and I got this like you know bird's eye shot
Nice.
of like the thing, and I was like, you know, and you're there and you're reacting to the space, and you know, like you're actually also a little like wasted, so fucking what's it called? So yeah, man. So like yesterday, I'm doing the rally, and trying to document it because like you know, I'm not like I do whatever the fuck I can for the thing, but I like my real like talent of doing things is like presenting like art that'll be able for people to be able to like share, and like you know building platforms and like putting like exposure on like,
Nice.
certain
Yeah.
things, even though it's like you know it's like it's the community, man. This place
Mm.
teaches you a lot of shit, man. It teaches you a lot about community. But yeah, but like
Yeah. That's dope.
I digress. I'm at the rally yesterday, and I'm like, you know, I'm documenting it, and you know, I just kind of had like the same like instances where you know, I like the whole swarm of people are walking down like fucking like Market Street, and I'm there and I'm like ahead of it, and I'm
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
like get like that bird's eye shot that I got from like the
Yeah.
fucking drum circle, and you know
That must look sick though. Have you seen the photos yet?
What do you mean? Oh, from yesterday?
Yeah, yeah,
bro,
yeah.
they're beautiful.
Yeah.
They're really
Yeah.
good. They're
And the cool thing is like that's a very particular moment that you captured.
oh
you
yeah,
know?
bro. It was beautiful. It's not it's a horrible it's a tragedy that the entire situation that we're all gathered for. Like you know, I mean, I was like fucking because I don't relate to the guy necessarily as like a black dude because I'm not black. But like you know, man, like the cop shot this guy while he was going through a mental health crisis. Like I said, like I had like kind of a mental health crisis during this fucking podcast like a couple weeks ago, and like you know, I don't want the cops shooting me, and it was like you know, this is like a person, and he was a dude who fucking like. who like was trying to stop like gun violence in the
Right.
city.
That's
And it's,
the
yeah,
wild
they,
thing.
they were right, dude. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
the cops like knew this guy. This guy was a prevalent member of the fucking community. He
Mm.
was literally part of the Patterson Healing Collective. They shoot the guy who's part of the fucking Healing Collective. It's like, dude, come on,
Right.
bro.
Right.
Come
Right.
on, man. I'm like fucking. I don't know. It's just like going there, man, and like I don't know. It's beautiful to see the city and like people like show up for that shit. But it was
Yeah.
like, you know, there's purpose into all of these shits, man. There's a lot of weight in a moment, and like, you know, these moments are fleeting and they're not captured. I mean, like, it's not like I feel like you know how like beavers build dams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I've seen them on, you know,
Yeah,
the
but,
National
like,
Geographic and shit like
there's
that.
like a meme on like Twitter or some shit
Mm.
where it's like beavers just look at water and it's just like, fuck that shit, I gotta stop it.
Uh-huh.
But they're building shelter. They're building like I actually
Right.
had to look into why beavers actually build dams. But it's like, you know, I just thought they were just trying to stop the water. Like, what the fuck? But nah, man, it's like, you know, like these moments are all fleeting and they're all like
That's true. Yeah.
there's so much
yeah.
there's so much water flowing and water is just all the time and fucking you know, there's like it's our duty like as like fucking artists to like really like not savor them but like, you know, be able to like to just like keep it there. You know what I mean? Then I started looking into the language of shit and I'm like, you know, artifact. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah, the
it's-
etymology is kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. Can also sometimes be deceiving too. So, but yeah.
Do you have a particular favorite piece?
Like that I've written or read.
Both.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say my favorite poem of all time that I've read up until now, is Dylan Thomas's "Do Not Go Gentle Into That Night." Have you heard that?
Not
No,
familiar.
no.
I'm not. I've always tried to get into poetry. I'm just like I kind of fizzle out on like Bukowski.
Yeah.
I'm a big Khalil Gibran fan because
Okay.
apparently I'm related to that guy.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know, but my grandmother does elaborate. Does it's fucking hyperbole a lot. It's like,
Yeah.
Apparently, my grandfather also caused 9/11, so you know.
Oh,
but
shit,
We're also
damn.
related to Khalil Gibran.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think my grandfather caused 9/11. I just only saw him watch the Yankee game.
Okay.
Most memories.
Escalated quickly.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. There's a lot of different opinions about 9/11 and all that shit. Of course, of course. But yeah, no. Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night by Dylan Thomas. Fabulous poem. And you know, interesting dude, interesting life. I feel like I've probably read more. Because I have a book up, this guy that would he was a professor and he would actually host, because Dylan Thomas is Welsh, so he would like the professor, you know, the American professor would like host him and help him like basically with the logistics of his tours in the U.S.
Yeah.
So it's like there's something written from his perspective about Dylan and as in Dylan Thomas, not Bob Dylan. But right, I gotta be careful if I just say Dylan.
A lot of Dylans.
Yeah. But then the piece I've written, yeah, I mean I have like some favorites because they're different moods and different. You know, that's something I've been realizing too now that I'm more recently like sharing my work at open mics and stuff, and I'm actually more recently thinking of like taking a little step back because I think that
Why?
with like performance, the performance
Aspect
it
of
starts taking more momentum than like the actual work and what you're trying to communicate. So I sort of feel like just being up there and kind of like checking off the box, like yeah, I was at you know, I was at Beeline, yeah, I was at this, but like what am I going to perform and what does it mean and why and how am I going to perform it? Because I haven't really taken the time to like know my pieces in such a way that I have most of them, at least, you know, to a point where like I can communicate them well. So that's something that I'm trying to focus on and taking a step back and like what does this piece mean? Why am I sharing it? You know, what's gonna go after it? Kind of like put it together. But I'm you know working on producing a it's kind of far out from now, but producing a show based on an epic poem I wrote. So it's
Yeah.
quite a long piece, and I'm trying to kind of translate it into a like a screenplay kind of thing.
Nice,
Or,
dude.
yeah.
Nice. So you're trying to like film it?
Um, yeah. Not screenplay. Like a play. Like I want it to be like a play. But I mean, I don't know exactly what it's gonna turn into. It's right now like the idea is for it to be like it's something like a play. It's something like a multi-sensory experience. It's something like a 4D movie. It's something like that. Like I want people to really be immersed in it and in terms of myself, I want to sort of act, but like almost like as like a shadow. Like I don't want too much attention on myself. I want really everyone to feel like they're experiencing something. So I'm just kind of like there, but I'm not really there. But like all these other things are there, and you're just kind of going through a lot of emotions, like the whole spectrum of emotions, and there's a lot there. So I'm more so like interested in doing that, and because I do a lot of page poetry, so like work that like more so like lives on the page and you just kind of read it versus like performance poetry.
Yeah.
But so this is kind of my way of getting into more of that,
Word,
more
bro.
performance. So yeah.
You have any working title for it?
Yeah, well, I mean the poem itself I made into like a book. It's like a self-published book, and it's called House of Pain,
Nice.
all caps.
House of Pain.
Yeah. It's funny because it was like like an Irish like rap
Jump
group
around,
or whatever the fuck.
jump around, jump
Yeah. So
You
it's so
gotta fight
funny.
for the SEO of that shit, bro.
I know.
There's like people,
But mine's
or
in
you could win and be like, all these people are trying to hear jump around, and then it's just gonna be very introspective.
Yeah. No, I kind of
of
like that. You know what I'm saying? And it kind of just came to me, so I'm not trying. I'm trying to let it be organic and just do what it's gonna do. Word. Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, and just exploring new things. You know. And, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any other future projects you're working on?
Any other future projects? I want to learn how to
Like
I want to learn how to juggle.
You want to learn how to juggle?
Yeah. That might be part of the performance.
Really?
I don't know.
What
It's just I don't know. It's something. I don't know. I feel like it's just the way my my mind works. Like there's certain things like I have challenges with like I tend to do more than one thing at once. Like for example, I always read several books at once.
Yeah.
So it's not like you know what I'm saying? Like even like being a teacher, I'll have my computer in front of me and it's like I have this list of tasks and I'll like do one and I'll open this page and I'll forget why the hell I opened that page.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like up and walking around. I'm like, where am I going? You know what I mean? Like it's just like shit like that. And then nowadays the kids would call that like ADHD and all this shit. And there's a bunch of names for it. But in any event, there are certain things I know I can just just get in the zone and just channel my energy into. And so I feel I was several years ago learning. I was like making I have an animal balloon tattoo on my thumb. I was like getting into like clowning stuff, but I kind of stepped back, which going back to the horse conversation is kind of like a thing that I've noticed I do, but I want to just kind of like commit to some things, be good at them, and then see where they take me. But yeah, I had like been learning like a little bit, and I just want to master it and yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I know. I relate a lot to that because I'm actually I'm about to. The last podcast I had was shout out to Victoria. I recently took up painting, or like drawing. I'm an art student, but I've been a filmmaker for like 10 years. But this is like a new thing too. Podcasting is but it feels just natural. I try to it's like the least amount of like arbitrage, man. I took up painting and I'm still like a novice painter, but it's like being able to to jump in and to be able to you're gonna suck like your first like Mr. Beast was saying like your first 100 videos are gonna suck before you start to get any thing on it. I like painting, but I'm actually trying to do like a spin-off of this podcast soon. I'm working on trying to get the equipment up for it, but I'm gonna do this thing called Morning Wave.
Okay.
And it's just music.
Nice.
Just rocking music.
Okay.
Yeah, but I have no idea. I've never. I never dreamed. I was never like, I'm gonna be a DJ. Like I don't
Right.
really want to be a DJ. I just want to like just get in the zone and just share it with people.
Yeah. So then with the morning wave, are you gonna be like playing music out of here, or like what are you gonna?
I want to get like an actual like mixer. Like I don't
Okay.
know. Apparently we have CDJs here. I had no idea.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, like, so my dad, he has a radio station. He's had it for years. It's called Chestnut Radio.
Oh, word.
And which is named after like the street. I grew up on Chestnut Avenue.
And he runs it out of your house?
Well, he runs it, yeah. So he he makes all the mixes, whatever. He has like the intermittent, like you're listening to Chestnut Radio, like whatever, and he streams it, and it's streaming 24/7. He's had a ton of guests on. He features people all over the world. He has listeners from all over the world, like consistent listeners, and occasionally he'll like try to like fundraise. Like when I was in college, like I was part of different clubs, and he would like, oh, my son is fundraising for, he doesn't sound like that, but you know what I mean. Like he would like, he does little things like that. So like. Shit like that.
I don't feel like I have the. I don't know. I feel like I don't have the radio voice. I definitely have a conversational voice.
You can learn you can like I always remember like.
FM.
You
Ladies
just
and
gotta find your
gentlemen.
persona, man.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I feel
Your
like
radio
I feel
persona.
like the lady from the Warriors. You know what I mean? The fucking okay, boppers. You fucking boppers. Nah, man. Fucking yeah, man. The fucking I don't know. I just want to do mixes.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah. There's a
have a lot
place
of
for
fun.
everything, man. There's a place for everything.
Yeah.
And that's a good point that you made. Like, I think about that sometimes, especially when I lay down at night. I'm like, damn, like, however many years ago, would I think I would be doing X, Y, and Z? And it's always like, not so much, but just kind of, that's just how life takes you, because you can't foresee all the changes you're going to go through. We change all the time. And so like, and then it really stuck out to me too earlier when you said like, all we have is moments, because it's true. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you meet someone and you have such a good connection, and then you're like, yeah, I have a feeling like we're going to be friends. And then, like, especially as you get older, you might never see them again. You got to cherish that shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Alright, bro. On that note, bro, where can we find you on social media?
Yeah, so my handle is Quert Poetry, so it's QWERT Poetry. There's a little image of this little like typewriter guy I drew. His name, it's an image of Waldo. I guess it's like a certain like typewriter character. But yeah, and I also have a website, same name, QuertPoetry.com. There's no Y. It's not QWERTY. It's Quert Poetry. And yeah, those are the main places.
All right, word, bro.
Yeah,
All right. Pierce Logan, ladies and gentlemen, Afternoon FM. Stay beautiful, people.
Thank you.